Amanganga, with a perennial flow, is a major watercourse inherited by the valley of the Knuckles Range. Even today, there are convincing remnants to prove that throughout the history, this major river has predominantly participated on bringing the fertility in the effort of making the Rajarata a bounteous paddy land. The water released from the Boathana Reservoir and the catchment area of the Knuckles Range contribute to raise the water flow of this Amanganga, which is commencing with the Suduganga. It carries roughly 1,481 million cubic meters of water annually towards lowlands along the valley. It is highly remarkable that throughout the history, this river has proudly served its human sphere, feeding with nutrients for their drinking and agricultural purposes, and the natural environment with fauna and flora. The first dam out of the trinity of dams at Moragahakanda Reservoir project, which is under construction across the Amanganga, is called Saddle Dam number 2, as having crest length of 275 meters and the maximum height of 21.5 meters, which had been commenced in 2007. When the main dam, which could change the traditional route of the river, was under construction to facilitate the river to flow smoothly, water was driven through 3 temporary bottom outlets which were built in Saddle Dam number 1. It is only then that the construction of the main dam had been started. From the front side and the rear side of this dam, 2 temporary cross bunds, which were called coffer dams, have been erected. Then, after excavating the foundation for the main dam, compressed mixture of cement has been injected into the bedrock, having a maximum depth of 84 meters. After minimizing the seepage of water through the dam foundation, placing of middle clay core was started. 2 parallel draining layers consisting of sand and stones were raised in front and the rear of this clay core. To detect any deformation in the dam, dam settlement measuring instruments are fixed in the body of the dam. Within this trinity of dams, Saddle Dam number 1 is bearing more significant value of multi-purposes. In this reservoir, located with a length of 187.5 meters from the mean sea level, several kinds of gates with various techniques are fixed for systematic management of the floodwaters and for the distribution of water for downstream water requirements. With this strategy, adequacy of storage for the control of the flood hazards in lowlands are strengthened. One of these gates are named as EMC, and it feeds the Alahara and Minneria irrigation system. The other main canal system is known as the Upper Alahara Canal, or UEC, which feeds many districts. Both these canals will be used on occasions where the hydropower is not in action, which means the water level is below 165 meters from the mean sea level. When the water level of the reservoir exceeds 185 meters from the mean sea level, the excess of water will be released through spillways by 5 radial gates. When the reservoir water level is above 165 meters elevation, water is discharged from the power outlets, which passes through 4 turbines, of which 2 turbines which generate 15 megawatts of hydropower and passes UEC canal, and the water released through the other two turbines, which generate 10 megawatts of hydropower, is diverted to the EMC canal. Radial gates are fixed for the spillway at higher elevations of the reservoir for flood control, and for the maintenance of these radial gates, stop logs are also mounted in front. Special crane is also mounted on the dam for the lifting purposes of these stop logs. During the rainy season, floating trash items will be gathered in the trash racks heavily, and trash cleaning machines are utilized to clean the trash racks. Power intake structures comprise with intake trash racks, trash racking machines, bulkhead gates and emergency gates, along with associated hoists. Irrigation bypass structures comprise with bulkhead gates, emergency gates and service gates, along with associated hydraulic hoist equipment and a gantry crane. Special devices are mounted for the fine performance of the turbines mounted at Saddle Dam number 1. Maintenance work of these turbines is to be done with the support of the overhead crane. External coolers assembled on the turbine floor will cool down the thick heat of the bearings of the turbines. By means of technological devices mounted in this setup, the amount of water flowing into the turbines and the power generated by that will be under control. All 4 turbines are enhanced with this modern system. In this process of generating 5 and 7.5 megawatts of hydropower as mentioned above, for the 5 megawatt turbine rotors with 16 poles and for the 7.5 megawatt turbine rotors with 22 poles are attached. 2 chambers are constructed on the dam for the purpose of controlling the hydraulic bulkhead gates and emergency gates. During November and December, the reservoir will be filled with huge volumes of water. The maximum storage of the capacity of the reservoir is 570 million cubic meters. Water will be released to the lowlands by the power outlets of the reservoir located at 165 meters above mean sea level. A replica of the Aukana statue with a height of 20 feet has been built on the left bank of the Saddle Dam number 1. On the hill rock at the landscape in between the main dam and Saddle Dam number 1, a circuit bungalow with all modern amenities will be constructed. At the higher reaches of the reservoir, close to the dams, an observation cabin, an information center and a helipad also will be constructed. The trinity of these Moragahakanda dams, which are under construction in this way, can be treated as the nucleus for real managerial responsibility on water resources, which were not in proper sparing use in the history. Another river which sees the light in this Knuckles range is Kaluganga. This river conveys an average amount of 208 million cubic meters of water annually towards the lower parts of the valley. Crossing the river, the main dam of the Kaluganga development project is built in Pallegama at Laggala. This dam will provide multi-purpose services. The length of the dam is 618 meters. Width of the top of the dam is 8 meters and the height is 68 meters. This dam is located 213 meters above the mean sea level. Full storage capacity of this reservoir is 248 million cubic meters. The two main tunnels for releasing the water and the two radial gates for controlling the excess of water are designed. The water flows through one of these tunnels and is diverted into two tunnels in the dam. One tunnel in this process, while commencing as a transfer tunnel, extending the flow along the open canal of 1.3 kilometers in length, again entering the tunnel with 7.5 kilometers in length and releases the water to the Kabarava Oya, a tributary of the Amanganga. This water mass also flows into the Moragahakanda reservoir. The water diverted to the other tunnel of the left bank flows down to feed the tanks at the residential area, which comes under the Kaluganga Development Project. The water that flows through the bottom tunnel after flowing along the perennial riverbed on the Kaluganga is released to the lower valley of the Kaluganga to facilitate the natural environment and the Hattota Amuna irrigation scheme. This reservoir too is built with a saddle dam with 741 meters in length and 28 meters in height. The right bank canal from this dam is expected to convey water to level crossings and to carry excess of water. Level crossings built here convey the water to the Wasgamua sanctuary and will become a great consolation for the fauna and flora during the dry season. With the completion of the couple of these Kaluganga dams, which are under construction, will tether its water resources under its dexterous control, which were not to be found in the history. This project facilitates the drinking and agricultural purposes of the early and new settlers and in the area. Ample infrastructure facilities are already provided for these peasants. In the future, these peasants will surely have a sustainable, firm lifestyle, well established with all human amenities and facilities, fulfilling and caressing their ambitions.